It's Kanesha from boldlivingtoday.com. Happy New Year. Happy first full week of January 2019. It has been a fun week getting back into the work groove. I had a huge event earlier this week on Monday to kick off the new year, and I led a workshop on productivity, and it was called Getting Your Beep Done. You can fill in that blank. And it was super fun to be in front of an amazing group of women. There were about 32 of us at the event, and we went through what I call my SHIT protocol on how to get stuff done. So I wanted to share a few of the tips with you here, and I'll show them in this video and then in subsequent videos. And I also want to talk to you about an upcoming self-guided workshop I have called Taming Your To-Do List. So, we're going to kick off this year talking about productivity and seeing how we can really be our boldest self and get the right things done with the actual amount of time that we have, so that we still have time to be creative, we have time to breathe life into dreams, and we don't want to be overwhelmed going into the first quarter of the calendar year. We don't want to be overwhelmed at all this year, but sometimes that happens. But I really want to help you develop some skills and some tools to really look at your life and how you're planning things and how you're using your time and how you're using your calendar so that you can be productive. So in the first part of getting your stuff done, getting your SHIT done for the productivity workshop, I talked about the S, the setting up the right systems. A lot of times you hear people talking about having good systems in place for getting things done, whether that's systems around daily tasks or systems around outsourcing things or systems around really having a clear, concise protocol for handling things. And a lot of times we kind of handle things as they happen. We don't have a strong plan for it. We really don't allow for a really strategic way of handling those things. And that's when all those details seem to get a little wonky and we get overwhelmed and our time is just feel like it's being wasted. We can't figure out when we're getting things done and how we're getting things done. So in setting up the right systems, one of the initial tasks I talk about is auditing your calendar from the previous year. So in this case, auditing your 2018 calendar. And it's not a long process. It's not like doing a tax audit or anything like that, but it gives you the time and the space to really look at what fell on your calendar in 2018, what types of things were you managing, what types of things should have been on your calendar and you didn't put them on there, and then just, how you're actually using your calendar as a tool to support you as opposed to overwhelm you. So some of the steps that I told the ladies about in auditing their calendar was to, get your calendar out. If you have a day planner that's hard copy, get that out. If you use that in tandem with an electronic calendar, which is what I do, I have my paper day planner and I also have electronic calendar, get those two things out. Or however you organize yourself in a calendar. If you have Post-it notes strewn in different places, just be honest with yourself, get those, gather those together. And so you want to put all these tools in front of you to audit, and you should set aside about 10 minutes to close to an hour, depending on how detailed your calendar is, to audit it. But definitely start with 10 minutes and you can come back to it. You don't have to do it all in one fell swoop. So the first thing is to look at how you organize your calendar. Do you just put everything on there? Do you color code it? Do you have things designated that are tasks that you'll do as opposed to your assistant, as opposed to your partner or your spouse, as opposed to your kids? So how are you organizing the things that get onto your calendar? And then when you look at your calendar, is there space between the things that you are booking on your calendar? I mean, are you going from meeting to meeting to meeting? Do you have activities scheduled back to back to back? Are you allowing space between activities, break times, time to work out, time to see friends? So how are you using the scheduling on your calendar and what gets on there? Are there any gaps? Another thing to look at is how often you put things on your calendar, but you don't follow through with them. So you have different appointments or you have different intentions of things you put on your calendar. Are you actually doing those things? Do they belong on your calendar? Another thing to look at is when you audit your calendar is, do you leave enough time to get the things done that you need to get done? For example, if you know you're going to write a grant, do you schedule time on your calendar that says grant writing time? if you knew that you had to volunteer for the PTA and that meant going to a meeting at the school and then coming home and cutting out letters or whatever it was for the PTA, did you write the meeting on your calendar in addition to the work time? So during doing your calendar audit gives you an idea of how you're spending your time. Are your intentions for your time aligned with the execution of the activities you're doing? And also, are your intentions aligned with your goals? Because a lot of times we're like, I don't know what's going on. My calendar is the boss of me. I always feel like I'm stretched so thin. And we really are not using our calendar as a tool to guide us, but we're using it as a tool to keep us always hopping, always guessing, always wondering what's coming next. So looking at your calendar, auditing it for 2018 will just really give you a good sense of what types of systems did you have in that year, what kind of systems were missing in that year, and then what kinds of systems do you want to add going forward. So, the first step of setting up systems is to audit the calendar, to look at the data from the previous year. And I'll be sending out a little tool for my subscribers for Bold Living Today on how to audit the calendar. So if you're not on the list, be sure to sign up for that so you can get that printable, downloaded, and then go through your calendar. So that's the first step in setting up systems. I'll be talking about additional steps in the productivity toolkit and how to get stuff done as we go forward. So check us out here on Facebook, Kanesha Baynard Coaching, and also on Instagram and Twitter at Kanesha Baynard, and then of course at boldlivingtoday.com. And if you have any questions about productivity, you're struggling with something, shoot me a message and let me know, and I can probably answer it here and give you some ideas or some ways that I've tackled that, because I am very, very, very proud of my productivity as I go each calendar year. I do better about systems, I do better about delegation, I do better about auditing things and making sure I'm focused on the right things instead of being stretched too thin and scattered and stuff like that. So check us out. Let's be productive in 2019, and check out coachingandcrafty.com to see our upcoming events. Bye, everybody.